Alan Becker's fighting game Animation Versus has raised over $600,000 on Kickstarter, and I am one of the very few people who has gotten to play it. How did I get access? Well, the lead developer Muno reached out to me and gave me access so I could make videos about it. I've been encouraged to promote the Kickstarter, which you should support if you're able to, but there's no restrictions on giving my opinions about this game. Is it good? Has it got potential? Should you invest your money into it? These are my full thoughts on Animation Versus. Let's jump straight into the fray. First of all, I should clarify that this is an alpha build of the game. It's been in development for around a year and a half, so it's definitely not a finished game right now. This means that a lot of the characters are missing attacks, and there's a few bugs, and not many game modes. That being said, it's already fantastic. The characters are all already fun despite not being finished, and there haven't been any game-breaking bugs, they've all been pretty minor. The game also doesn't have any online play right now, but I assume they'll add that in the future, although I should note that it's really important for them to get online right for this game to be successful, but fighting games like this generally have an okay time getting online running well. My quote, which is put on the Kickstarter page, sums my initial thoughts up pretty well. Animation Versus is punchy, flashy, and vibrant. The fact that the pre-Kickstarter build is more fun than a lot of plat fighters gives me a lot of hope for it. I'm really excited to see where this game goes. It's got a ton of potential. I wrote this after just a few hours of gameplay, so I've gotten a few more thoughts about the game now that I've streamed it for quite a few hours. Animation Versus feels like they've combined Fraymakers with Guilty Gear, or Rivals 2 with Street Fighter. It's like the perfect combination of a platform fighter with a traditional fighter. I've always kind of preferred the gameplay of a traditional fighter, but I prefer how free and open the movement of platform fighters are. I often feel that traditional fighters are too restrictive with their movement, so I really love how Animation Versus feels. When I realised that Animation Versus takes the better movement of a plat fighter and the better mechanics, in my opinion, of a traditional fighter, I was so excited. It is literally the best of both worlds. The characters themselves are also fantastic. Currently there are 6 playable characters, those being yellow, green, blue, purple, red, and the second coming, all from the Animation Versus Animation animated series. Despite the fact that most of the characters only have a couple specials, they are all still really fun, and the 2 characters who are actually close to being finished feel absolutely amazing. The potential combos you can pull off are awesome. Even with just a couple attacks, they're still so good. The gameplay feels fast, the attacks all feel like they're really strong and powerful. This game is just so incredibly fun to play. And the animations, guys, the animations! This game just looks utterly fantastic. The transitions between the stages when you take a life, the glitch effect that happens when you have low HP, even just the character animations with their moves and movement and idols and everything. It's all just so good. And the stages too. Right now there's 3 stages which all have separate areas you get to see during the matches. Alan's PC has 4 areas and the other stages have 2 currently, but they're going to get more. These stages look so good and they're a perfect fit. But let's take a breath for a moment. The game itself is really good, especially for an alpha build. Given enough development time, I can see it becoming something really special. But speaking of time, the Kickstarter says they estimate Animation Versus will be released in 2028, so it's possible that it won't be playable for an entire 3 years. Now that is a pretty rough amount of time to have to wait, but it's actually a pretty realistic estimation for how long game development takes. It's also somewhat possible that they'll release the game in early access at some point, and we know for certain that a beta build is going to be released much earlier than 2028, as getting access to the beta build is one of the Kickstarter rewards for donating to the game. Speaking of Kickstarter, Animation Versus still has over 2 weeks of funding time left and has gotten a bunch of cool stretch goals. Currently the game has reached 12 characters, a roguelite mode, a story mode, and 9 stages. There's a ton more stretch goals too, like interactive online lobbies, which would be so cool if they reached them. Now, only time will tell if these goals are realistically actually achievable, but with the $650,000 they've raised, it's pretty likely. Lots of people have been asking if Animation Versus will be on console or mobile. Usually I would expect a game like this just to be on PC with the potential of being ported ported to console, but according to the Kickstarter, it will hopefully be put on mobile if the Kickstarter gets enough money. They haven't confirmed whether this will definitely happen, but it's a possibility that I am super excited for. This then begs the question of how much the game will cost. I asked the lead developer Muno if he could tell me the price, and he said they don't currently have an estimation of how much the game will cost, or at least they didn't have one that they would be willing to tell me. Based on the Kickstarter, we can guess that it will be around $20, which seems reasonable, but if it's being ported to mobile, then there might be a chance that it will be free to play, but that's just speculation at this point. So, should you get excited about this game? Should you even maybe support it on Kickstarter? Absolutely, 100% yes. From what I've played of it so far, it is one of the most exciting fighting games I've seen in a while. The alpha build is already incredibly fun, and that's just after 1.5 years of development. Imagine what it could look like after 3 years with a full development team. The more money this game raises, the better it will be. So if you can afford it, I do think you should consider donating. That being said, it is a big investment to put money into a game that isn't coming out for 3 years, so do think about that. Obviously, there's a lot of people who might have moved on from Animation Versus within the 3 years that development is going to take, so it's kind of up to your own estimation of whether you're still going to be interested in playing this game after it's been made. Now, there is one pretty obvious and pretty big problem with Animation Versus, that being copyright. Because so much of the popular content from Animation vs Animator comes from the Animation vs Minecraft series, a lot of the characters' movesets are based on their appearance in Animation vs Minecraft. However, for copyright reasons, they can't take things from Minecraft and directly put them into the game. This is why instead of having a Elytra, Purple has these sort of bug wings. Instead of having Minecraft potions, Blue has these sort of like ambiguous potions. Green just has a fishing rod, when Green would normally have like a Minecraft fishing rod. So they're having to kind of slide around all of these copyright issues, make adjustments to the characters in order to make the game not be illegal, I guess. Now, in terms of a fighting game on its own, this isn't really that terrible for it. The movesets are still fun and engaging, and this gameplay is just generally really good. However, if you want to play Animation Versus because you're a fan of Animation vs Minecraft or Animation vs Animator, then you might have a slight problem with the fact that the game isn't a 100% accurate representation of the YouTube video series it's based on. From the comments I've seen from the community, I think people are generally okay with this though. I think they understand that you can't just put the Elytra into Minecraft, and the bug wings are honestly really cool anyway, so the fact that the game isn't one-to-one accurate or whatever might just be fine. If anything, it means they need to be more creative with the characters, which always just makes them better, so it might end up being an advantage. But it is definitely something to consider when you're thinking about supporting this game. This game is doing so well right now because it's Animation vs Animator and Animation vs Minecraft, not because it just looks like a really good fighting game, although that does help. So it's up to you to see whether that's a problem or not. For me, it's not really a problem because it's still really good, and the characters are all identifiable, even though they are slightly off-brand. Animation Versus is just so exciting, and I can't wait to see where it goes. This video shows some of my exclusive Animation Versus gameplay. Check it out to see some of my best moments playing this game. I've been having an absolute blast with it, and some of the combos I've pulled off, guys, I'm kinda cracked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.